Hey, Patty.
With the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I've done that before. We share our district vision and mission statement for this month anyway, promoting lifelong learning through real world experiences. And will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Deb is not here yet. Fields, Fields, no Fields yet. Fisher,
Yes, I'm here.
McConnell,
Here.
And
Silva.
here and
And there's Cindy. Okay. So got 4.
Okay, and then could we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So- I'll second.
Okay,
That's easy enough.
had a motion, can you call the roll?
Yes. Dominic,
I.
McConnell.
Aye.
So Fisher,
Aye.
Silva.
Aye. Then we have our consent items. Any questions?
Were you gonna say open forum just in case?
Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you for that. This is my first official school board meeting starting from the beginning. So anybody here to speak on the open forum? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is that,
Do I get paid the same since I'm on Zoom?
yeah, it's still 0. Yes, good job.
2 times 0, yep.
I
Double.
tried the other day, Steve, and Brett shot me
Yeah,
down.
don't worry.
It's coming, it's in the mail.
Alrighty, is there any other comments or anything on the consent items? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the consent items?
Michelle just said she'll be here in 10.
Okay,
We'll see how much we can get through before that.
I know, really fast. We'll get through all this stuff.
Motion by Dominic, for consent.
Second.
Fisher,
Aye.
Please call the roll. Yes.
McConnell,
Aye.
Dominic, I, Silva.
Aye. Okay, and then old business board and district goals. You want to speak to this a little bit? Or?
Yeah, so November 30th, we did a work session with Lou Gavist from the Iowa Association of School Boards. She just really kind of helped us to take all of our the 7 goals that we had last year with kind of the really 6 probably worded into 3 goals, and then we highlighted them into kind of 4 main categories with some sub goals underneath each of those. So really the priorities or the goals of the district become around academic excellence, recruiting and retaining quality staff, resource management, and then community relations, with some kind of stepped up things underneath. So really this will just be a 1-pager. It'll be something for us to be able to quickly and easily share of, when we say, hey, what is the Greene County Community School District working on? This is it. These are the 4 main targets. We think of that elevator speech. If we were to say any of the 7 goals that we had last year, I actually did that kind of a little challenge with our district leadership team. And I said, hey, what were the 7 goals that we had for our district? And in about 10 minutes, they came up with 2. So this will hopefully kind of solidify that, make it a little easier to understand. There's obviously some more in-depth work that goes on underneath that, however, but the big broad umbrella are those big 4 topics. So it was a really great work session. Actually, she said she's going to be 2 hours, and she was 2 hours on the dot, which is kind of nice. But anyway, just kind of highlights what we are as a district, our mission statement there, and then just again the goals. So just looking to just approve the work that we did from November 30th and make that our focus as we continue moving forward.
So do we have a motion to approve the 1-page goals for the district?
I so move.
I second.
And was that somebody getting on?
No, that was-
Okay.
that was Brent.
Would you please call the roll then?
Fisher,
Aye.
Dominic,
I.
McConnell.
Aye.
Silva.
Okay, and then reports and correspondence.
Yeah. So obviously you can notice the severe lack of people in the boardroom right now. So we opted not to do the student staff member recognition, just simply we didn't have school today. And that actually worked out kind of nicely because the weather is not ideal. So just a few different updates. So we actually just launched the Career Academy website yesterday. It is up and officially live thanks to the work of Brent Gersma and our network provider. Apogee. All right. So Apogee, so the Career Academy website is up and rolling right now. So we are continuing to update that as we go, as we get those promotional videos that are on there. Yep. So if you go there, so it'll actually take you. We put it in Iowa Central Blue, just with the affiliation that we have there. So if you click on healthcare, you'll see this. So we got some information. What is healthcare all about? We have our promotional video that our video production team made. A couple of quotes. What's the fall semester and spring semester schedule availability look like for kids? And what can they get out of attending that that program there? So again, all Iowa Central based, all student based, and I think everything on there was created except for the content or the actual creation of the page. Everything else on there is all student driven. So that's just that's one of our goals, one of our things that we have on there, and that's what we did with that. So that's one of my updates. Update on preschool. So as you know, this has been kind of a big rock of mine for this year. So we ended the current agreement that we have with Head Start for the 22 that we have with them right now, with the expectation that we are moving into a new agreement with them for 23-24 and beyond. It'll give our district access to something that I just learned about this year. Is called braided funding. It'll be advantageous really to both Head Start and us. And we'll be able to have 2 additional 4-year-old classrooms at Greene County Elementary. We'll still be able to serve all of our 3-year-olds. And we're also looking at a community connection there with a local partner here in town. I'm not going to give away a whole lot with that yet because that's not finished. So I want to get that finished. That's between Head Start and them. So we have that. With the old middle school, I know I've been getting some questions about what's going on with the old middle school. So the 2 developers that have that, they're still waiting to hear back from the State Historical Preservation Office, or SHPO. So with the old gym that is, or the gym that is there, there is a decision that needs to be made by the State Historical Preservation Office of, if we take the gym off, are they going to lose their funding? Or if they leave the gym on there, how long do they have to leave it on there? They've looked at a number of different options of rezoning and drawing different boundaries on the property. And so the current where they're at currently is that if they were to take the gym off, they'll actually lose all of their state historical tax credits, which is going to fund a little over 50% of their project. So we're still very much in a hurry up and wait type of situation for that. So it's not much of an update. That's where we're at. So that's why, while it went out to bid, Murphy's got it. Nothing has happened yet, just because there's a lot of, I want to make sure we're doing the right thing before we give Andy the go ahead to start taking things down. And then the last update I have is just formed a superintendent advisory committee, which is made up of 10 staff members, 3 from each of our 3 buildings, and then Kyle Kinney, just because he serves across all 3 buildings, and he'll kind of bring that mental health aspect in for us. So the community that committee will meet once a month, and I'll get feedback and input on them from different things like that we have coming up, such as our district calendar, which is going to be a pretty hot topic in a positive way, but a hot topic of, especially when do we start and when do we end? Those are the two big questions. Looking at professional development, teacher evaluation, prioritizing social emotional learning for both staff and students, just kind of getting their input on how things are going that way. So that's me.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Steve.
What about backing up to the preschool discussion? What about the staff? I know we've talked about that a little bit, Brett. Or is there going to be a retention of staff if they choose?
Yeah, good question. So there will be no reduction in staff. The goal will be to maintain the current level of staffing that we have. We may have to add a teacher or 2, however.
Okay. And then I've got a question on your superintendent advisory board, I guess.
Yep.
Have you already chosen all the people that are going to be on that or lined that up?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And Do we get a list to see who that is?
I will share it with you.
Just curious.
Sure.
Oh, no. All right.
I can share it with you.
They don't get the Friday focus. It
Uh,
was in there.
It was in there. You guys, do you get my Friday focus that I send every Friday?
So.
Maybe.
No, they must not.
We
Okay.
don't, yeah. I
Um,
have to look for them.
Well, I'll share my document with you, but I'll tell you who they are now anyway. So from the high school, we have Chad Morton, Deb Markart, Emily Van Egmond. From the middle school, we have Doug Brown, Tammy Moore, and Sam Talene, Samantha Talene.
Okay.
From the elementary, of Rhonda Baker, Paige Burns, and Mary Ewalt, and then Kyle Kinney.
Sounds like a good group. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Oh,
Quick question, how does the semester program at the Career Academy interface with the trimester program?
No, well,
I would say that would be something we will discuss.
Okay.
I bet you see that come up other times. But you can imagine how well it is, so.
Thank you.
Any other board thank you. Any other board committee reports? We haven't had any for me. Anybody else meet with any? Yeah. Steve, do you have any committee reports?
I do not. Thank you.
All right. Moving on. We don't have any other administrative reports
just what they would have shared.
and anything with Brent, or is Brent talking later about things?
Brent is on the agenda for one thing.
I'll talk a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
Any other?
We didn't have any link to the administrative reports.
I didn't know that.
I just assumed there wasn't any because they weren't here.
I was guessing,
Honestly.
but I thought I should clarify.
Is that true to assume that there are no administrative reports, or we just didn't get them?
Oh, no, there's administrative reports.
Okay, we really just thought there wasn't because they weren't here.
You all have access.
Love it.
Thank you.
Oh, crap. Sorry, we should have caught that sooner. We just thought there weren't any because we knew they weren't
And I
coming.
should have asked.
I didn't
but
even-
I didn't get
I
them.
didn't even think about it.
Or is that more a thing that's always shared and we should just be able to go out and find it?
Yeah, we make a new one each month.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, we can look through those another time since they're not here anyway, and we can ask questions later if we need to.
Mhm.
So we're gonna move on. Other reports, fundraiser follow-up reports, that's just for us to look at, nothing to
Yeah.
approve there.
Yeah.
So we'll keep moving here to new business and school driving
Yeah.
permits.
I don't
He's
think
not
so.
here.
And he even reached out to me today to see for sure if we were still having the meeting and what time, so.
Okay. We're gonna continue on then to fundraising requests. And I think we've had a chance to look at these. It was the NHS doing one and then Accelerated Government doing one. So do we have a motion to approve the fundraising requests?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Cindy and seconded by John. Please call the roll.
Fisher. Steve. Steve.
Hi, I'm sorry. I had my mic shut off.
McConnell.
Aye.
Dominic.
Aye.
Soba.
Aye. Okay, moving on ahead to soccer contracts. We do the soccer contracts at a different time because the season isn't even over yet when we give the other contracts to everybody. So for 2023, we have a motion to approve the 2023 soccer coaches and issue contracts.
So
I'll
move.
move
Oh,
that.
Steve does.
Steve,
I'll second.
okay, motion by Steve and second by Cindy. Please call the roll.
McConnell.
Aye.
Dominic.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Soba.
Aye. All right, next one is the at-risk dropout prevention plan.
Brenda.
This isn't really extra pot of money or anything. allows you to get school budget review committee modified supplemental amount to help with your unspent balance, to make sure you're funding your at-risk dropout fully. And you can see there's a lot of services we do. There's IJAG, there's alt program, there's Success Center, there's mental health counselors, there's credit recovery, there's all kinds of things there. And then I just need you to approve the request for that supplemental amount of, I think it's 441, something. Yeah.
And so just so you know how that amount is figured too. So what they do is they take the allotted state aid per student, which is, I think it's 7418 right now. And then they multiply that by the number of students that we have. And then they multiply that by our at-risk weighting or at-risk percentage, which we are maxed out at 5%.
Which was set quite some time ago.
2012, I believe. So where we are with that, we can't, and we never should drop it, but we're stuck at 5%, which is a good thing because we maximize those funds every single year. So we do the 7418 times a little over 1100 times 5%. And that gives us that 400.
And that's the next link. You're gonna approve the program, how we spend it, but I really need the, even more so, I need
The
the,
modified supplemental.
yeah, the request for that, but.
441, 531. So that's how we arrive at that number.
So I
Okay,
need you to approve the plan and request the
So-
supplemental amount.
do we have a motion to approve the at-risk dropout prevention plan? Correct.
And you can do both motions together, it's just make
Okay,
sure
then let's
that
do
both
that
of
and
them are
we'll look at
stated.
we'll look at both of them together then there.
Yeah.
So can we go ahead and have a motion to approve the plan and then also to approve the modified supplemental amount?
So move.
Second.
You wanna say that dollar amount out loud?
Of the amount of 441,531.
Yes.
Okay.
Please add that to the motion in there. So
Yep,
then,
yep.
motion by Cindy, seconded by John. Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Hi.
McConnell,
Aye.
Davidic. Aye. Silva.
Aye. Okay. New one that I find interesting, transportation purchase, the stop finder geo alerts.
All right, this is gonna be from Mr. Gersman.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah, so our busing software right now is called TransFinder. So they do offer another module to the software that allows us to do geo-tracking on our buses, basically. And what that entails is the parents of students will now be able to track which bus the student's on and where it is in a real-time map. So they'd be able to open the app and they'd be able to see that, for instance, my son Aiden maybe just left school. And the neat thing with it is they can get notifications, so they can set up geofencing. So if the bus is within 3 blocks of their house or 3 minutes of their house, they'll get an alert that says, hey, your bus is close, your kid's about ready to be dropped off. Or, if the bus is running behind, they'll be able to jump in the app and realize, oh, it looks like the bus is still 7 blocks away instead of, 1 block away like it normally is at this time. So I don't have to be worried and call the front office and figure out where my kid is. I can just find in real time on the app that, as it turns out, the kid's still on the bus, is just running behind. So it's relatively inexpensive. We were pretty, I shouldn't say this out loud, but we were pretty impressed with the pricing
Yeah.
for what it is and what it does. And as far as like who can access it, it's tied to the contact information in Infant Campus, so our SIS, our Student Information System. So the primary contact, when or if and when we decide to purchase it and go live with it, it's an email invitation asking them to join the app, download it, and set up an account. They do that, and then whatever student or students they have that are tied to their contact information in Infant Campus, they'll be able to monitor via busing. They can then extend invitations to other parents, guardians, daycare providers, whatever, grandparents that would also be able to see that specific student's transportation information, but not others. So it's very private that way. It's exclusive to the students and their own guardians or parents, but it's also open enough that they'll be able to see what they need to see.
And it assumes a kid is on a bus. It's not like the kid
That's
it has a
chip.
tracker. There's nothing with that. It's just where a public bus
No
is
airplay
at.
tags, yeah.
Yes, no,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Exactly.
There's another we don't do any sign-in stuff, so we won't be, it's assumed they won't be signing into the app, and then, they'll get a notification saying Susie signed in to bus 6. It's just, this is where the bus is at this time, so.
And there's a thing in Infinite Campus that tells parents what bus number their kid is, or they would have to find that out.
So that'll.
They
that'll-
should, we don't. but-
Right, yeah.
Right. So you'd want to have that conversation, what bus number is my kid?
Right, so,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
basically it'll just show the bus that the kid's on, but yeah, that would be.
Life 360 for buses.
Exactly.
Pretty much. It'd also be great too for traveling for athletics.
Yeah.
You know, so if they're coming back from a certain place, they'd be able to know, hey, we're just passing through
Yeah.
Ogden or whatever.
Skiba honor band.
Yep. And then, one of the points too, just to reemphasize, is that not anyone can get access to this. So it's not like we can have just random people get access to where our buses are. That you have to be an identified person within our student information system. So there's not just, it's not just for anyone. It's exclusive to those who are attached to their kids. And then I believe, if Brett and I were talking about this earlier, if a parent wants to add somebody else, they can do so within the app, but it's completely on them. We would never do that. It's only those who are registered parent or guardian of that particular child.
Any other questions for Brent or?
And talk about the pricing a little bit.
Yeah, so it's $4,500 for the software. That includes all of our buses. And then I believe it's a one-time cost. I was a little confused by that, but I think it's a one-time cost of $500 to purchase the equipment. I will
Rent it, right?
to rent, yeah, it's
Yeah.
releasing it. Yep, that's a nice thing. So we're leasing it. So in the event, that was a point they made, that we switched from, a 4G LTE infrastructure to a 5G, and 4G is no longer available, they will give us new access points, so we can install them once we buy them again. I will do the installations, maybe with the help from Adam, I don't know. We'll find out. So we won't be paying any service. It's basically just a couple screws and tying it into the battery. But again, it's a mobile network. They work off of Verizon, but then they also piggyback off of other towers if the Verizon signal is not available. So coverage is pretty good from my understanding.
And we're locked into that $500 price for as long as we sign that contract. So our price will never go up or down. And it's not $500 per bus. It's $500 to cover all of them. Right. So all of the equipment that goes on each of our buses, which there are, how many? 15. So 15 buses are getting covered by $500, and that's leased as well. So.
You answered my question about buses. Are these also applicable for your Suburbans that you use for transportation?
We could, but we have not purchased them for that. No.
Okay. So just buses at this time.
Exclusively buses.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions?
Is this a 3-year contract?
That was a yes.
So I believe the total price altogether was 6,000 or
15.
Okay. Good questions. Anybody else? Would anyone want to make a motion to approve the purchase and installation of these things as presented?
Yes, it'd be a couple.
So
I'll move it.
All right, Steve's gonna make the motion and then John's gonna second it. Giving everyone opportunity here. Please call roll.
Dabedeck,
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Silva.
Aye. Okay, Brett is up, but the other Brett in the room,
Yeah.
I believe. So we have, the next new business item is a roof repair.
Yep.
Information, you
It
take it
is.
over then, all right?
Yep, so Brett Turner with the Garland Company here. Last two sections on this building here that are rubber EPDM ballast. Looking to get those replaced with the standard system that you guys have up there, which is a Garland system. I have some handouts for you here as far as the agenda of the construction.
Did we specify it's this building?
Yep, it's the middle school.
Yeah, do you need to give any background or are we, maybe I know more than I realize.
Yeah, so we have a Garland roof system on every section of this building with the exception of over our wrestling area and then the gym. And so right now those two roofs are considered ballast roofs, I guess. And so this would be to replace that and do a whole bunch of their other work that's over my head. Literally and figuratively. Right.
Nice
There's a
display there.
Page in here
Yeah.
that says what piece of that to be done.
I like it.
So in addition to that, there's two different roof sections. The way we budgeted out that you see in front of you, it was 200 to 215,000 per section. We discussed in our last meeting, if you do them together, it's about a $50,000 savings across the board. And then as well, on the second page here, it kind of goes through every aspect of the full service manufacturer that you get with Garland. We do all the bid preparation specifications, put it out to bid, give you all the information to put it in the publication, the control rooms per Iowa state law procurement to ensure that everybody's getting the ability to bid. And then you guys also qualify for the Omnia Purchasing Cooperative, which is just a pre-negotiated national purchasing co-op that protects margin increase from your contractors. So they're not able to mark up the products. You're buying the products, they're giving you the quantities. You protect yourself from any margin creep. And the only thing that's really getting bid out is not the assembly, it would be the labor and then like insulation. Anything that's a part of the assembly of the roof system will be able to be purchased on that cooperative. So it protects you, protects the district and the building.
And the pictures on the deterioration we're seeing are from our roofs.
Yeah.
Right? That's like you've been up there and.
Yep, I did core cuts to see how the insulation was looking. You know, it's starting to tend and pull away. Well, it's a very tired roof. It's only held down by river rock. So over time, those river rock deteriorate, turn into razor blades, and it's only about. I have an example of the thickness, but it's only 60 mils.
Pretty thin.
Yes.
How old is the existing roof? Do we know?
I think we had discussed this coming up on the 20-ish year mark.
We weren't like totally confident, but it's somewhere in that 20 to 25 year range.
And we don't know if there's any warranty ever was established on the current roof?
Well, not that old.
I would
No.
say that
Probably
What's that?
It's probably a 10-year or something, don't you think?
I'd say that rental word 20.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
At most, you're probably gonna get a 15-year on a single ply BPDM.
And what's the warranty if we redo this now?
30. Yeah. And then you have the ability, we discussed in our last meeting that there's a 30 roof system, but you're able to come back and re-flood coat and gravel. So it's flood coat and gravelled up there, which is essentially just cold adhesive and pea gravel, which is very small, fine gravel. You can do that twice. So you're essentially getting a 50-year roof system without having to tear it back down to the deck. And most of your costs are going to be with tearing it down to the deck is going to be in your insulation and build up to code.
I have a question.
Mhm, yeah.
Do we let bids on this with more than one company? Nothing against this company, but is that standard procedure to get bids from other
They-
companies on this system or?
They help us do the bidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think
We're
that's,
not performing any.
no,
of the
they're not,
labor.
they're
It's
not
all-
doing the roof repair. They're just
No.
helping us with the specs and.
Yep.
And,
Oh, okay. You're just a consultant.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
for lack of a better, yeah.
That work.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is the next process then we let bids?
Yep, so we would be voting for a bidding schedule, basically, and bids would be due by January 20th. And then we would look at approving that on February 16th, hopefully, and then construction would start this summer. So
Okay, thank
we would, if we approve it tonight, we would send a bid to the paper next week.
And what would be approving tonight?
That's a great question.
that you're gonna put it out to bid.
Mhm.
The comments we had in our last meeting was
Those are just what they are. Those are the budget numbers. So
Yeah.
the next process would be to administrate the bid. And then upon, sealed bids being delivered to the district, we would then try to get on the agenda because it would be after your next board meeting.
Mhm.
We would then get our letterhead of our recommendation to you guys for the following, school
For the
board.
February.
Yeah.
Our concern in the meeting that we had together was that if we don't do both these sections together, the last 2 years, we've had 150% increase in
Yeah.
cost.
It's only gonna go up.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of a no-brainer
Or
to do
stay
them
the same,
together to
maybe.
save the 50 versus do one.
Yeah.
To not save 50 because we could potentially spend an extra 100 by splitting them.
Yeah.
So
And I
that
would
was,
say that's kind of what we save up our sales tax
Yeah,
money for,
yeah.
is for this sort of thing,
Yeah.
The repairs.
but the cost
major repairs.
benefit to do both together is, well, he's got them split down here, but
Mhm.
we need to improve.
Will you
Both of
bid
them
both
together.
those or will you,
It will be a
Bid.
section 7 and 9 together.
that's how it will go out? We would
yes.
never see it separate. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you bring materials on site
Yep,
at the same
and
time,
that-
labor
yep.
On the same-
arrives at
yeah.
the same time. Yep.
Get it. Did you have a question?
Yeah, just for clarification on two things. One, so if you're bidding out both of those, would the cost estimate between those be a total of 420 on the max end, or is it 215 on the max end?
It would be combined.
It would be combined.
Yep,
So
so it'd be that
420
400 to
Or-
430.
You'd add them
430,
together.
430,
You would
but
add them together.
as we discussed, you'd be looking at a 50,000-ish discount doing them both at the same time. Because that's how the contractors, we have two contractors give the budgetary numbers, and that's what they are, again, just budgetary. Goes out to bid, then you'll get your actual numbers. But we as a consultant, got two contractors that have worked up here in Brockway and for sure.
So you can have an idea of what to tell us.
Yeah, so
What they
these
might
aren't just,
bid.
these aren't my numbers, these are affiliated contractors.
And this
Okay.
doesn't include contingency, right? Because we
Right.
talked about 15, well, actually, sorry, it was probably more like the 20, 25.
I think it says
Percent
there below.
contingency.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. Mhm.
And my,
So-
sorry, my second
And then-
question then was, did you say that you'd be just bidding out the labor and installation, and then you would provide the materials? Is that?
So how it works is they would be buying the materials on the purchasing cooperative based off the contractor's quantities.
Got it.
So they are still liable for the quantities, which protects the districts from change orders.
That's what you're saying.
And then as far as the administration of the specifications and what they're actually bidding on is going to be things outside the assembly, which would be your insulation or your secure rock or your dense deck or whatever they choose to bid on based on the specification, and then their labor.
Makes more sense the second time you say it.
Yeah.
First time,
Yeah.
Nope, sorry,
Now-
I've got none of that, but all right.
Yeah.
Nope, I think that helps me too.
Thank you.
So today we're looking for a motion to put out bids for roof replacement on those two sections of the middle school, right? That's the motion. So does anyone have any other questions or?
This would be, yeah, I know Brenda's already said it, but this would be sales play. This is where the sales tax comes into play.
Mhm.
And we're good to go.
Did we receive any, Michelle, or anything? Okay.
I would make a motion to approve sending out bids.
I'll second.
So motion from Cindy and second for John. Ready? Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Hi,
McConnell.
Aye.
Davendeck.
Aye.
Solon.
Aye.
And you'll send me something to put in the local papers, and then you'll take care of the other.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is your typical like IA square
Yep.
foot, it's gotta be a certified control room per
Yep.
state procurement. So
Yep.
that's the one we typically use.
Yep.
So.
And I think that's what we've done before, just
Yep.
clarifying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, we're gonna do our first reading of new board policy.
You don't have to stay.
Okay,
Yes, please, please drive safe and get home.
I appreciate it.
Well, letters of the.
Just drive safe in the weather. All right, so we have the first reading of new board policy 804.07, radon mitigation.
And really, if you look, there's 2 pages. The
Yeah.
next page is, just to add on the regulation or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it that way.
So this came out just this year. This is one of the regulations from IAS.
Thank you, Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We will eventually have to test and then mitigate for radon. I think bugged at him about it about 3 times, and he's like, by the way, this isn't due till like 2027. I'm like, okay, got it. I'm going to leave you alone about this. For a long time. So essentially just what it's saying is that I think it's by 2025, we have to test. And then if we have an unacceptable level of radon, then we have to submit a plan to mitigate by 2027. So we actually have 2.5 years with which to test, and then an additional 2 years after that with which to create a plan and mitigate. So unless it changes, which I doubt it, this is what they have.
Just put it
Iowa,
on your calendar.
yeah, Iowa is,
Basins.
is known for having, higher levels of radon typically when buildings have basements, which,
Dirt floors.
so when we eventually do test, it'll be kind of interesting to see what we have, but anyway, that's kind of the plan. And of course, as soon as it came out, we have companies from everywhere wanting to get in on that. So anyway, so it's just the policy. It's a straight copy from IASB, and it's your first reading anyway.
All right. So, first reading of new board policy, Brenda, help me out here. Do we need a motion to approve the first reading of the policy,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we could get a motion to approve the first reading of this new policy.
I'll make a mo-
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
I'll say it.
Cindy made a motion and John seconded for our radon policy. Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Davidic.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye. Okay, and then a policy review. There were no changes noted that we should be making on these. And it was codes 404. I just closed my
0.1.
agenda, 0.1 through 4.
405.
There we go, 405.5. So do we have a motion to approve the review of these
Like
policies?
Steve wants it.
What?
I so move.
You move, okay. John's
Second.
made a motion. Cindy is seconded.
Not to leave you out, Steve.
Please call the roll.
Fisher,
Aye.
Davidic.
Aye.
McConnell.
Aye.
Silva.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Good job.